Hare Krishna. Thank you, Tesh Prabhu, Vishwanath Prabhu, for the japa. Let's start with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshadarine. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. Okay, let's continue with our beautiful prayers from Sri Mukundamala Stotra. Let's do the link here. शत्रुच्छेदैकमन्त्रं सकलमुपनिषद् वाक्यसम्पूज्य मन्त्रम् संसारो संसारोच्छेदमन्त्रं समुचिततमसः सङ्घनिर्याणमन्त्रं सर्वैश्वर्यैकमन्त्रं व्यसनभुजगसन्दष्टसन्त्राणमन्त्रं जिह्वे श्रीकृष्णमन्त्रं जप जप सततं जन्मसाफल्यमन्त्रम् व्यामोहप्रशमौषधं मुनिमनो वृत्तिप्रवृत्तौषधं दैत्येन्द्रार्तिकरौषधं त्रिभुवने सञ्जीवनैकौषधं भक्तात्यन्तहितौषधं भवभयप्रध्वंसनैकौषधं श्रेयः प्राप्तिकरौषधं पिब मनः श्रीकृष्णदिव्यौषधम् कृष्णात्वदीयपदपङ्कजपञ्जरान्तम् अद्यैव मे विशतु मानसराजहंसः प्राणप्रयाणसमये कफवातपित्तैः कण्ठावरोधनविधौ स्मरणं कुतस्ते चेतश्चिन्तय कीर्तयस्वरसने नम्रीभव त्वं शिरो हस्तावञ्जलिसम्पुटं रचयतं वन्दस्व दीर्घं वपुः आत्मन् संश्रय पुण्डरीकनयनं नागचलेन्द्रस्थितं धन्यं पुण्यतमं तदेव परमं दैवं हि सत्सिद्धये शृण्वान् जनार्दनकथा गुणकीर्तनानि देहेन यस्य पुलकोद्गमरोमराजिः नोत्पद्यते नवनयनयोर्विमलाम्बुमाला धिक्तस्य जीवितमहो पुरुषाधमस्य अन्धस्य मे हृतविवेकमहाधनस्य चौरैः प्रभो बलिभिरिन्द्रियनामधेयैः मोहान्धकूपकुहरे विनिपातितस्य देवेश देहि कृपणास्य करावलम्बम् इदं शरीरं शतसन्धिजर्जरं पतति अवश्यं परिणामपेशलं किम् औषधं पृच्छसि मूढदुर्मते निरामयं कृष्णरसायनं पिब आश्चर्यमेतद्धि मनुष्यलोके सुधां परित्यज्य विषं पिबन्ति नामानि नारायणगोचराणि त्यक्त्वान्यवाचः कुहकः पठन्ति तजान्तु बान्धवाः सर्वे निन्दन्तु गुरवो जनः तथापि परमानन्दो गोविन्दो मम जीवनम् सत्यं ब्रवीमि मनुजाः स्वयंभूर्ध्वबाहुर् यो यो मुकुन्द नरसिंह जनार्दनेति जीवो जपत्यनुदिनं मरणे रणे वा पाषाणकाष्ठसदृश यददात्यभीष्टम्। श्री मुकुंदमाला स्तोत्र की जय। श्री कुलशेखर आलवार की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Yes, anybody would like to read the translations today?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, please, Mataji. Yeah.
O tongue, please constantly chant the mantra composed of Sri Krishna's names. This is the only mantra for destroying all enemies. The mantra worshipped by every word of the Upanishads, the mantra that uproots samsara, the mantra that drives away all the darkness of ignorance, the mantra for attaining infinite opulence, the mantra for curing those bitten by the poisonous snake of worldly distress, and the mantra for making one's birth in this world successful. O mind, please drink the transcendental medicine of Sri Krishna's glories. It is a perfect medicine for curing the disease of bewilderment, for inspiring sages to engage their minds in meditation, and for tormenting the mighty Daitya demons. It alone is medicine for restoring the worlds to life and for bestowing unlimited blessings on the Supreme Lord's devotees. Indeed, it is the only medicine that can destroy one's fear of material existence and lead one to the attainment of the Supreme Good. O Lord Krishna, at this moment let the royal swan of my mind enter the tangled stems of the lotus of your feet. How will it be possible for me to remember you at the time of death, when my throat will be choked up with mucus, bile, and air? O mind, think of the lotus-eyed Lord who reclines on the mountain like serpent Ananta. O tongue, glorify him. O head, bow down to him. O hands, join your palms in supplication to him. O body, offer outstretched obeisances to him. O heart, take full shelter of him. That Supreme Lord is the topmost deity. It is He alone who is all auspicious and supremely purifying. He alone who awards eternal perfection. One who hears descriptions of Lord Janardhan's pastimes and glorious qualities, but whose bodily hair fails to bristle in ecstasy, and whose eyes fail to flood with tears of pure love, such a person is indeed the most degraded rascal. What a condemned life he leads! O Lord, the powerful thieves of my senses have blinded me by stealing my most precious possession, my discrimination, and they have thrown me deep into the pitch dark well of delusion. Please, O Lord of Lords, extend your hand and save this wretched soul. This body's beauty is fleeting, and at last the body must succumb to death after its hundreds of joints have stiffened with old age. So, why, bewildered fool, are you asking for medication? Just take the Krishna elixir, the one cure that never fails. The greatest wonder in human society is this: people are so incorrigible that they reject the life giving nectar of Lord Narayan's names and instead drink poison by speaking everything else. Let my relatives all abandon me and my superiors condemn me. Still, the supremely blissful Govinda remains my life and soul. O mankind, with arms raised high, I declare the truth. Any mortal who chants the names Mukunda, Narasimha, and Janardhan day after day, even in battle or even facing death, will come to regard his most cherished ambitions as no more valuable than a stone or a block of wood. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shri Mataji. Yes. That number 36 that you're reading, it says, these senses are like thieves. They're blinded us of our most precious possession, which is our discrimination. Our intelligence have been clouded, and we've been thrown into the deep, pitch dark well. And then we are, Kulashekhar Alvar is praying to the Lord that please extend your hand so that this wretched soul can be saved. It is in this world again. Lord's hand is not different from the Mahamantra. Like we say, Mahamantra, Krishna is appearing through his Mahamantra. And actually, this Mahamantra, like Prabhupada always used to say, this is a transcendental sound vibration. It's coming from the transcendental world. So again, that multiple picture that we have of the material universe and the spiritual world, Mahamantra is coming all the way directly from Golok Vrindavan. So that is really like the hand of the Lord. And we are in this well of samsara in the material world, in the pitch dark well. And when the Mahamantra is coming from there, it is like Krishna's hand. It's like the rope that he is sending our way. And with the as we know, the devotional service, Bhakti, Lata Bij, when it grows, it's like a creeper. It needs some support to grow around, right? So we can always imagine that this rope of Hare Krishna Mahamantra that the Lord has sent, which is his hand to us in this well, if we continue to chant the holy names as Srila Prabhupada has taught us, then this devotional creeper, the Bhakti Lata, which is a creeper which needs the support, and it can actually grow around this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and it will take us back to the spiritual world. It's a wonderful meditation to do every morning when we do our japa. The Lord has extended his hands for us, and when we hold that hand of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we can go back to him. Okay, Hare Krishna. All right, so we'll continue with chapter 17 of Srila Prabhupada Leelamrit. Yesterday we saw Srila Prabhupada has moved from his apartment on the riverside apartment to downtown Bawari. And like we were saying yesterday, it was a world of contrasts, how people were suffering. I was just thinking like that they are like, Prabhupada has come there as a pure devotee, and the mood again in these prayers is all about shelter. The mood with Srila Prabhupada is all about shelter, Sharanagati, right? Because even though he was living there, he was completely surrendered to the Lord. So the Sharanagati, while people in the street are in like Sharanagatar actually, right? Like Prabhupada was saying, people living in the brothels and in the liquor shops, they are living in the mode of ignorance. So they are actually taking Sharan of gutter, versus here Prabhupada is teaching them how to take Sharan of the Lord, which is Sharanagati. And it was so nice actually. I was thinking after that the AIR also, like we were saying yesterday, these are embassies that Srila Prabhupada has created. The AIR loft that he's staying at is really like Prabhupada has brought the Air Goloka or Air Vaikuntha airlines so that people can be uplifted. And it is also Air third and fourth, which is like people down, they are suffering in the modes of ignorance and mode of passion, as he was saying in the liquor shop, they're in the mode of ignorance. In the cities, they're in mode of passion. But Prabhupada on that loft is bringing them to the third mode, which is a mode of goodness. And then from there, he's going to take them in Air Vaikuntha to the fourth mode, which is the transcendental spiritual abode. So it was very nice that everything that Prabhupada touched was like magical. That Srila Prabhupada's trust with destiny and everything that the Lord Krishna gave him, matchless gifts. And now this air loft, third and fourth. Okay, so with that, we'll continue. April 27th, we are reading from here. Anybody would like to read today?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Meena Mataji. Thank you.
April 27. He wrote to his friends in India describing his relationship with David Allen. He was attending my class at 72nd Street along with others, and when I experienced the theft case in my room, he invited me to his residence. So I am with him and training him. He has good prospect because already he has given up all bad habits. In this country, illicit connection with women, smoking, drinking, and eating of meats are common affairs. Besides that, there are other bad habits like using only toilet paper and not bathing after evacuating, etc. But by my request, he has given up 90% of his old habits and he's chanting Mahamantra regularly. So I'm giving him the chance and I think he's improving. Tomorrow, I have arranged for some prasadam distribution and he has gone to purchase some things from the market. When David first came to the Bowery, he appeared like a clean cut college student. He was 21, 6 feet tall, blue eyed, handsome, and intelligent looking. Most of his new friends in New York were older and considered him like a kid. David's family lived in East Lansing, Michigan, and his mother was paying $100 monthly to sublease the loft. Although he did not have much experience, he had read that a new realm of mind expansion was available through psychedelic drugs, and he was heading fast into the hazardous world of LSD. His meeting with the Swami came at a time of a radical change and profoundly affected his life. David, it was really a good experience I had with Swami, but I was overwhelmed by the tremendous energy of being that close to him. It spurred my consciousness very fast. Even my dreams at night would be so vivid of Krishna consciousness. I was often sleeping when the Swami was up because he was up late in the night working on his translations. That's possibly where a lot of the consciousness and dreams just flowed in because of that deep relationship. It also had to do with studying Sanskrit. There was a lot of immediate impact with the language. The language seemed to have such a strong mystical quality, the way he translated it word for word. Prabhupada's old friend from uptown, Robert Nelson, continued to visit him on the Bowery. He was impressed by the Prabhupada's friendly relationship with David, who he saw was learning many things from the Swami. Mr. Robert bought a small American made hand organ, similar to an Indian harmonium, and donated it to David for chanting with Prabhupada. At 7 in the morning, Mr. Robert would come by, and after Bhagavatam class, he would talk informally with Prabhupada, telling his ideas for making records and selling books. He wanted to continue helping the Swami. They would sit in the chairs near the front window, and Mr. Robert would listen while Prabhupada talked for hours about Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. New people began coming to see Prabhupada on the Bowery. Carl Jurgen Jones, a 30-year-old black man from the Bronx, had attended Cornell University and was now independently studying Indian religion and Zen Buddhism. He had experimented with drugs as psychedelic tools, and he had an interest in the music and poetry of India. He was influential among his friends and tried to interest them in meditation. He had even been dabbling in Sanskrit. Carl, I had just finished reading a book called The Wonder That Was India. I had gotten the definition of sannyasi and a brahmachari and so forth. There was vivid description in that particular book of how you could see a sannyasi coming down the road with his saffron robe. It must have made more than just a superficial impression on me, because it came to me as this one chilly evening. I was going to visit Michael Grant, probably going to smoke some marijuana and sit around, maybe play some music, and I was coming down Hester Street. If you make a left on the Bowery, you can go up to Mike's place on Grand Street. But it's funny that I chose to go that way, because the way would have been to go down Grand Street. But if I had gone that way, I would probably have missed Swamiji. So I decided to go down Hester and then make a left, and all of a sudden I saw in this dingy alcove a brilliant saffron robe. As I passed, I saw it was Swamiji knocking on the door trying to gain entrance. There were two bumps hunched up against the door. It was like two-part door. One of them was sealed and other was locked. The two bumps were lying on either side of Swamiji. One of these men had actually expired, which often happened, and you had to call the police or health department to get them. I don't think I saw the man lying in the doorway until I walked up to Swamiji and asked him, "Are you a sannyasi?" And he answered, "Yes." We started this conversation about how he was starting a temple, and he mentioned Lord Chaitanya and the whole thing. He just came out with this flow of strange things to me right there in the street. But I knew what he was talking about somehow. I had the familiarity of having just read this book and delved into Indian religion. So I knew that this was a momentous occasion for me, and I wanted to help. We banged on the door, and eventually we got into the loft. He invited me to come to a kirtan, and I came back later that night for my first kirtana. From that point on, it was fairly regular thing, 3 times a week. At one point, Swamiji asked me to stay with him, and I stayed for about 2 weeks. It was perhaps because of Carl's interest in Sanskrit that Prabhupada began holding Sanskrit classes. Carl and David and few others would spend hours learning Sanskrit under Prabhupada's guidance. Using a chalkboard he found in the loft, Prabhupada taught the alphabet, and his students wrote their exercises in notebooks. Prabhupada would look over their shoulders to see if they were writing correctly and would review their pronunciation. His students were learning not simply Sanskrit, but the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. Each day he would give them a verse to copy in the Sanskrit alphabet, Devanagari, transliterate into Roman alphabet, and then translate word for word into English. But their interest in Sanskrit waned, and Prabhupada gradually gave up the daily classes to spend time working on his own translations of Srimad Bhagavatam. His new friends may have regarded these lessons as Sanskrit classes, but actually they were bhakti classes. He had not come to America as an ambassador of Sanskrit. His Guru Maharaj had ordered him to teach Krishna consciousness. But since he had found in Karl and some of his friends a desire to investigate Sanskrit, he encouraged it. As a youth, Lord Chaitanya had also started a Sanskrit school with the real purpose of teaching love of Krishna. He would teach in such a way that every word meant Krishna, and when his students objected, he closed the school. Similarly, Prabhupada found that his students' interest in Sanskrit was transitory, and since he himself had no mission on behalf of Sanskrit linguistics, he gave it up. By the standards of classical Vedic scholars, it takes 10 years for a boy to master Sanskrit grammar. And if one does not start until his late 20s or 30s, it is usually too late. Certainly, none of Swamiji's students were thinking of entering a 10-year concentration in Sanskrit grammar. And even if they were, they would not realize spiritual truth simply by becoming grammarians. Prabhupada thought it better to utilize his own Sanskrit scholarship in translating the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam into English, following the Sanskrit commentaries of the previous authorities. Otherwise, the seekers of the Krishna consciousness would remain locked away in the Sanskrit. Teaching Carl Jurgens, Devanagari, Sandhi, verb conjugations, and noun decli- declinations, was not going to give the people of American transcendental Vedic knowledge. Better that he utilize his proficiency in Sanskrit for translating many volumes of the Bhagavatam into English for millions of potential readers. Carol Becker came from an immigrant Catholic background, and she immediately associated with Catholicism the Swami's presence as a spiritual authority and his devotional practices of chanting on beads and reciting from the Sanskrit scriptures. Sometimes she would accompany Prabhupada to nearby Chinatown, where he would purchase ingredients for his cooking. He would cook daily, and sometimes Carol and others would come up by to learn the secrets of cooking for Lord Krishna. Carol, he used to cook with us in the kitchen, and he was always aware of everyone else's activities in addition to his own cooking. He knew exactly how things should be. He watched everything and made sure everyone did everything correctly. He was a teacher. We used to make chapatis by hand, but then one day he asked me to get him a rolling pin. I bought my rolling pin, and he appropriated it. He put some men on rolling chapatis and supervised them very carefully. I made a chutney for him at home. He always accepted our gifts graciously, although I don't think he ever ate them. Perhaps he was worried we might put in something that wasn't allowed in his diet. He used to take things from me and put them in the cupboard. I don't know what he finally did with them, but I'm sure he did not throw them away. I never saw him eat anything that I had prepared, although he accepted everything. Prabhupada held his evening meetings on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, just as he had uptown. The loft was out of the way for most of his acquaintances, and it was on the Bowery. A cluster of sleeping derelicts regularly blocked the street level entrance, and visitors would find as many as half a dozen bumps to step over before climbing the 4 flights of stairs. But it was something new. You could go and sit with a group of hip people and watch the Swami lead Kirtana. The room was dimly lit, and Prabhupada would burn incense. Many casual visitors came and went. One of them, Gunther, had vivid impressions. Should I continue, Prabhuji?
I think we'll pause here. Mataji, thank you so much. Yes. You had a smile as Prabhupada was making chapatis, not teaching them doing chapatis. Yes, and
I
you want to share since you go to our Govindas, so I'm sure you'll be able to relate a few things.
it was such a clear vision. You can stand there, Prabhupada, trying to instruct others how to make chapatis, how to use the rolling pin, or do other things, or trying to instruct them in Sanskrit. I can see like a small dingy room, dimly lit. Maybe it has a cupboard because they talk about the cupboard now. And the writing is so beautiful that you actually visualize that. You can see what's exactly going on here. So I think I am very intrigued and I love it. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes. Anybody else has any other thoughts?
Prabhupada is all-rounder, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Mm. Yes. All-rounder. Yes, Anandini Mataji, you're saying something?
Yes, I was also smiling when Meena Didi was reading today. It's very true about the vivid description. And me and Prabhu were listening, and we were like, wow, 4 flight of stairs Prabhupada would climb at that age, crossing half a dozen bumps. That's great. Those bumps are the drunk people just laying on the floor, I'm imagining. So, what a scene, and how he was living. It is just unbelievable coming from Vrindavan. And the whole thing about the Sanskrit, his focus did not change. He knew what he was there for. He didn't want to sidetrack and say, but he did encourage his students. Okay, if you wanted to learn to some point, he was willing to give that. So, very, very nice instructions. So nice to see how Prabhupada carried on his early mission. That's all.
Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, from a place where everybody, remember when we were reading in Vrindavan, everybody was saying Jai Radhe, Hare Krishna, Radhe Shyam, So from that milieu and backdrop, where everybody was absorbed in Krishna consciousness, to here where people are really, like I said in the beginning, they're fallen down in the gutters and then blocking the way. Yeah, like it's for a person who's foreign, right? We may think, especially like if you would have come, like imagine like when we came from India to US and we are in the situation, you say, oh, what is this? And here is Prabhupada, again, just the mood that he is in. He knows that Krishna has sent him for a mission. He knows what this material world is like, right? For anybody coming from India to US and seeing that would have been a shocker. But he knows what the condition of the miserable material world is and why the Lord has actually sent him here to uplift these people. So, yeah, we see he's not flustered by any of that. But yeah, and also the amount of time he's taking, like for him, at one end we saw where he's saying, he's racing against time, that he has to complete these Bhagavatams, the translation, otherwise the whole wonderful knowledge will just be locked up in Sanskrit. But at the other end we see he is going over and beyond to teach them that what they were interested in, at least to begin with Sanskrit, right? Taking the time, right? So time actually expands truly, as the Lord says, for the pure devotees, the time expands for them. Everybody has the same 24 hours, but devotees are able to do so much more in just 24 hours than a regular materialistic man is able to do, right? And yeah, how much of love he had that he was taking the time to teach them. And just like Jiva Goswami, every word of Sanskrit he would connect back to Krishna. And I was actually reminded of even Amrendra Prabhu's classes, and Vishwanath Prabhu is currently taking those Sanskrit classes, because I know Harshika is doing as well. And and I just see those classes. And I just feel like, how much, again, same thing. Amrendra Prabhu is taking time out of his busy schedule and teaching all these wonderful kids. Some of them are less than 10 years old. And on the call, when I just hear some of them and the interest that they show, in learning Sanskrit, it's just amazing. So yeah, I was just reminded of that. Maybe Vishwanath Prabhu can share something. Yes, Vishwanath Prabhu, anything you'd like to share? Maybe you're busy. Okay. All right. Anything else from anybody?
Yes, Prabhuji. There was a verse that I heard from one of the lectures. I did not write it fully down, but I was wondering if anybody knows it and if anybody can share. It was something like Prata Kale Dvitiya Prasangam Madhyena Stri Prasangataha Ratro Chor, something like in the morning we should discuss Bhagavatam, then Ramayana, Stri Prasanga, like discuss about Kekai and Manthara, and in the night that we should do read about Krishna books and that Kala Gachat Dhimataha or something, that Srila Prabhupada had said that reading Krishna books and hot milk at night helps sleep. So I was wondering if anybody knows about this verse, if they can share, because I really want to memorize that verse.
Yeah. Anybody remembers?
If you ever come across, I
can
don't
look it
remember
up,
whether it
yeah.
was from Narendra Prabhu or whether it was from Adi Gadadhar Prabhuji. I have no idea. I did not write it down at that point.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I don't know the Hindi translation, but I can Sanskrit, but I can get it. But the English translation is: in the morning we should associate with a thief.
Yes, exactly.
In the more that's mean about it. No, in the morning that we should have
Gamble,
which is the Mahabharat. In the
yes.
midday we should associate with Shri, which is woman, with Ramayan. And at night we should associate with the thief, which is Krishna. But I can find a Sanskrit verse and send it to you.
Yes, please do. Please do. Thank you. It's been on my
from
mind.
Mahabharata.
Okay, it's been on my mind for a very long time. I just never.
It's one of those verses that Vyasadeva wrote that Lord Ganesh had to contemplate. He had to understand before he actually write. This is how he got time.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. I really appreciate it.
Again, please. Could you repeat that translation, what you said in English, please?
In the morning, we should associate with a gambler. In the midday, we should associate with women, which is Shri. And at night, we should associate with a thief.
Chor. Ratro Chor Pranjana or something like that. Or Prasangena, I don't know.
Yeah.
So Mahabharata, Ramayan, and Krishna book, is it?
Yeah, it's from Mahabharata itself.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll find it.
Thank you.
I'll post it.
Thank you. Yeah, please share. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anything about your Sanskrit, Vishwanath Prabhu? Everything going well?
Yes, homework is done. Repeating is done. So tonight is class again. We'll see.
Yes. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much. Anything else from anybody before we conclude?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yesterday I saw like a reel from Nityanand Charandas. So he said like in two conditions a person can become a devotee. One would be if he or she has a past, credits, and if he has done like practiced like devotional service in past life, then he will be continuing from this life. And then the second thing was like the person doesn't have anything, have not practiced any devotion, but in this life a pure devotee enters your life, and the life changes after that. So whatever we read today, I felt like Prabhupada is a pure devotee. So when he entered like all people's life here, their life changed.
Yes, Mataji, that's very true. Yeah, just by taking moments of association with him, many of these people's lives have changed. We see many of them went on to have themselves become so much devoted and dedicated to Srila Prabhupada and his movement over the last 5 decades. So yeah. Thank you so much again for sharing, and thank you everybody for your kind association and wonderful thoughts. We'll end with the Vaishnava Pranam prayers. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Antakoti Vaishnavind ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, have a great day, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.